Hi everyone, it's Don and I hope you're having a fantastic day. Well, my cruise ship is oversold. Okay, before I get to that story, I got a couple more stories ahead of this. First off, one story is, did you get fooled? Did you get fooled by Emirates airline? They posted on March 31st this post about they're getting into the luxury cruise ship market. And they said their new chief executive officer in charge of maritime command is Captain Jack Shallow, and they've launched a multi-billion-dollar industry now. They are launching 10 ships. They have 10 ships on order, and you can actually start booking them as early as June 31st of this year. And they posted this on March 31st on their social media page. Trouble is, in Dubai, it was April 1st. And you know what that is? April Fools, everybody. That's right. It was a complete prank and a complete joke. And if you read the article, you could have caught some hints that it was. First of all, Captain Jack Shallow sounds an awful lot like Captain Jack Sparrow, Captain of the Black Pearl from the Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Also, who orders 10 cruise ships at one time? That's a ton of cruise ships. No one does that. And thirdly and lastly, you can finally book your cruise on June 31st when there's only 30 days in June. June 31st didn't exist. And a lot of people call foul on you, Emirates, because you posted it on March. However, in United Emirates, it was April. You gotta take in the time difference. So they played by the rules. Also, we have an update on that passenger that was stuck in the Philippines. Now, remember, he had some issues on the ship. The doctors made him go to the hospital for some tests. And while they were running all these tests, it ran past the time for the cruise to leave, P&O Cruises. The ship left, and the gentleman was stuck in the hospital. Apparently, it was only a minor case of heat stroke, but they were worried about other things. They ended up keeping him in the hospital for over a week. He wasn't getting anywhere by trying to call P&O Cruise Lines. He says they left him in a lurch. We'll see. And then they also says the insurance company was giving them a runaround. Well, first of all, the insurance company said, well, P&O has to tell us that something happened before we would know that something's happened. But all in all, apparently the cruise line and the insurance company, which is nationwide, I believe, they were working and making arrangements. And the reason it was taking so long, for one thing, was he hadn't been cleared from the hospital yet. Once he got to a hotel room, now they can say, okay, we can get you back. But this man had a genuine, terrifying fear of flying. Panic-stricken flying. Okay, well, that complicates things, right? He can't just jump, here's a plane, we're going to fly you home. So they have to make arrangements to actually send a doctor and a nurse to pick him up and sedate him and keep him under control to fly him home. So he's actually taking a boat to another dock where he can get on the plane, where a doctor and a nurse will meet him and then sedate him and fly him home. The good news is he's getting home. The insurance was there. The cruise line was working with the insurance company. It seems like it was working. Nothing goes like this when you're making insurance claims or anything like that. It's best to have the money and then get it back, kind of thing, if you want quick service. But if you don't have the money and you're waiting for it, it can be a frightening experience, like it was for this gentleman. Now, here's my question about it. I can understand the insurance saying, okay, yeah, all right, you missed the ship happened, you got into the hospital, okay, we're going to cover whatever you're missing from your flight, we'll cover the medical expenses, we'll even cover your hotel bill, and then we're going to cover airline tickets to fly you back. But this man has a terrifying fear of flying. Some would say irrational fear of flying. I don't know, I'm afraid to fly. I don't know if it's irrational or not, traveling at 40,000 feet above the ground with no control of yourself. But I'm wondering, does the insurance cover all that? Does the insurance cover meeting a doctor if it's not a prescribed reason, right? I'm afraid to do this, so I need extra help, medical help. I'm not sure, if I'm afraid of needles, do they have to come up with a cure to get him the medicine without a needle? You see what I mean? Like, I don't know that side of insurance. I just hope down the road this man doesn't get a bill for that doctor and nurse flying over there and coming back, because that's not normal operations to fly somebody home unless they needed to be medically cared for as far as their illness that they got while on. Like, if you come down with a heart attack and that, and they need to fly you back to the United States, they will have a doctor and nurse there, watching you to make sure nothing happens on that flight. But if it's just a fear of flying, I don't know. That's a good question, right? I think that's a pretty darn good question. I hope nothing comes of this, that everything's covered. And I think because of the media attention across all the different, YouTube and social media and news articles, I don't think Nationwide is going to go after this guy for any money. But it's a legitimate question I have. Does fear make you, cause as a medical condition unless it's diagnosed by a psychiatrist or a doctor? Okay, finally, my cruise is oversold. But before I get there, let me just invite you to hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If you want to keep up to date with everything going on in cruising, including those puzzling questions that we just asked, like, is fear of flying a reason for them to give you a medical nurse and doctor to fly you home? Is it covered? That's a good question, I think. And I hope you'll join us here on the channel. We try and do it as lighthearted as possible, and it doesn't cost anything to hit it, and I really do appreciate it. Okay. The Discovery Princess, 3 days before the cruise, people started getting messages saying, hey, would you like to switch your cruise? Would you like to move your cruise to another sailing? If you do that and rebook, you have 2 years to rebook. We'll give you credits, onboard credits. We'll give you a full refund. We'll protect your fare. We'll do all of this. Well, they only do that if there's a problem on the ship. They only do that if there is no room. And I think they've oversold the ship. And I think one of the reasons that they can oversell the ship is a lot of times they'll open up the sailings and bookings and boom, there you go, you're booked, you're doing everything in that. And then all of a sudden they go, oh yeah, we have those quarantine cabins that we still need to hold, yet they've already been booked. So now they need to move those people from those quarantine cabins, and they offer people the refunds and go on another cruise, etc., etc., etc. I'm not sure that's the reason this time, but I do know that this cruise has been sold out for over a month. The cruise before this was sold out. I couldn't get on it. I was planning on maybe coming down a week early and jumping on to make sure everything for the group was handled and arranged, but I couldn't book it. It was sold out. So yeah, a lot of offers went out. Even people in my group were getting some offers. So yeah, I think my cruise is sold out. Now, I blamed Royal Caribbean for doing this on the Wonder of the Seas and for their excursions that they had to their their land package in Alaska. Well, I'm gonna call you out, Princess. What's going on? Why are you offering people to switch your cruise? Another could be that the staff they're shorthanded on staff, and if they're shorthanded on staff, they want to keep the crowds down. A sold-out ship is hard when you're short crew, so this could be another reason as well. But I haven't heard any announcements, and I haven't been told by Princess why they're doing this, but I know they're doing it because people have been offered it, including myself. So there. How about that, people on the group? I could have had a free cruise and moved it and just not showed up. How cool. April Fool, everybody. Because it would have been on April Fool. I wouldn't have shown up. How bad is that? How bad would I have been for that? No, I would never do that, but that would be hilarious. Imagine hiding for a day and then just popping up and say, it was all a joke. I think people would be really, really angry at me. Well, I hope you appreciate this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Want to see more tips, more tricks, more travel blogs from around the world? Hit that subscribe button. Till next time, have yourself a safe and a great vacation.